Workbench technology. This is my speed clamp setup, quite possibly the fastest clamp in the West. And I'm in the East, so it's really fast. But I just want to show folks what I got going on here today. I got something to work good in the wood shop, so I just figured that's a good reason to make a video. What I got going on is I'm making snack racks. This is my drilling jig. So I'm drilling 4 holes in the side panels, and I used to do that on the drill press, but the material handling involved with stock feeding the drill press was very time consuming, and I found that making this jig and then just drilling the holes with a powerful cordless drill was significantly faster. So I saved a lot of time doing that, but I still had the issue of lining up and securing the jig and the workpiece to the workbench so that I can drill those holes without the jig shifting around. And the first time I just used a bar clamp like this. That's your go-to clamp stuff to the workbench type thing. But in heavy production use, what happens is that you have to pick up the clamp, spend time lining it up underneath, and then you have to disassemble, put it back down, and then repeat that 50 to 100 times. And trust me, your arms will get tired, and you'll start to get calluses just from handling the heavy clamps. They're cumbersome. But it's easy to take for granted the time to clamp and unclamp stuff with woodworking operations, but in production you really have to consider that, and also the wear and tear physically on your body by fixing the clamp to the workbench like this. Eliminates the need to pick up the clamp and put it back down. So not only does it save time, but it's a lot less hard physical work that will wear you out over repetitive use. So this is a great solution, and I think it works really good. I inverted the clamp and made it a slot here. So this is not permanently fixed, it's just kind of floating and loose, so I can adjust this back and forth and take the clamp out. And by the way, this is a rare aluminum body clamp. They don't make these anymore. It works really good for this, but you can make this work for a variety of different clamps. But basically there's a custom cut T-slot fit between 2 4x4 blocks, and that's mounted underneath the workbench. I have 2 workbenches. I have a pedestal style workbench there, and then another slab workbench here on these shop horses. And usually there's a gap in between that's a passageway from my chop saw direct to the joiner, and that makes travel time in the shop efficient. But I have it bridged right now. I was just doing a long zinc countertop, so I put an extension with the jack in the box so I can do a 12-foot long countertop. But I just wanted to show people why the workbench looks a little different here. So this is the setup. It's pretty simple. You cut a slot for the clamp and then a T-slot for the top of the clamp, and that just slides in there, and simplifies that clamp and unclamp operation. So this system works really good. I'm actually combining 2 steps, installing the plastic nail-on glides. At the same time, I have the workpiece clamped to just take advantage of that, and that makes that operation simple and easier to do. So it's a good setup, faster than any other clamp setup that I've tried. I also used the bottle jack system this one time, which ties into the metal plates on the ceiling there. But that's an efficient clamp for strength, but it's not really that easy to handle. It's pretty sensitive and heavy as well, like all the other deep reach clamps. So this is the best way to do it. Any type of bar clamp will work for this. You just have to make a custom fit T-slot for the head of the clamp that you want to use. And for bar clamps, you can make a stop just by adding a small C-clamp to the bar to prevent that from falling down. But that's a way to make that work. And here are some other clamps that might work as well. This is a heavy-duty 12-inch C-clamp. Not very useful for woodworking, but this might be a little more difficult to fix to the workbench, but it would be, a good heavy-duty alternative. And you can also use the deep reach pipe clamp. I don't think Jorgensen makes these anymore, but this can go in a pipe flange and mount it underneath the workbench. You drill a hole through the workbench, and that can be removable and adjustable. I actually had that idea for my workbench at some point, but I just never got around to it. I bought this thing a long time ago. This is one of those tools that you look at and you think it might be something that you're going to need and be useful, but it just isn't. It's only got 3 inches of capacity under there, and it's just not enough for doing most woodworking applications. So it just kind of sits around, but the concept is the same as what I've got going on here, but this has the capacity and the reach for a lot of practical woodworking applications. So this is just another use of clamps to fix them temporarily to the workbench for better, more efficient production and less wear and tear on your hands and arms, which should be useful for those of you who are trying to make money at this. So unless you're a shop cat, you don't have to make money.